Let's give a great STUG welcome to Bob Gostischa. Bob.
Thank you.
You can't hear us because we're all muted.
That's fine, as long as you can hear me. That's the important part.
We can.
Get a little homework out of the way first before we get started. The program that I've done for, or the work that I've done for Avast since 2010 ended at the end of March. However, I'm not ending it. I'm still doing presentations. I still do lots of videos and all other kinds of things. But unfortunately, I no longer have the backing, the financial backing of Avast, which doesn't mean I've stopped using Avast. It's still the product that I depend on to keep my system safe. With that, let me start by sharing my screen and get into the presentation. I'm a cybersecurity expert, and if you don't believe me, just look at my cup. So what is cybersecurity? Cybersecurity ensures the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information and systems. This means protecting against unauthorized access or modification of data, ensuring that systems are available for use when needed, and maintaining the privacy of information. Sit back and let me provide you with the information needed so you can use best practices to stay secure. In the next 24 slides and videos, I will give you all the information you need to become a cybersecurity guru. I know that A to Z should be 26 slides, except there's nothing of interest or importance for the letters X and Y. And by the time we get to the end of this journey, that's probably a good thing. I used ChatGPT in creating this presentation and edited its input to eliminate some errors and repetitiveness. Some repeats, however, are there to drive home the information. A, always update your software and operating system to the latest version, and there are several reasons why this needs to be done as soon as possible. A, always update your software and operating system to the latest version. It is important to always update your software and operating system to the latest version for a few key reasons. Security. Software updates often include security patches that fix vulnerabilities in the software. If you don't update your software, you may be at risk of being exploited by hackers or malware. Improved functionality. Software updates often include new features and improvements that can enhance the performance and functionality of your device. Bug fixes. Software updates often include fixes for bugs and issues that can cause problems or negatively impact the performance of your device. By keeping your software and operating system up to date, you can ensure that your device is running at its best and is protected from potential vulnerabilities. It is generally a good idea to set your device to automatically install updates when they are available, so that you don't have to remember to do it manually. B, be aware of phishing attacks and verify the authenticity of emails before clicking on any links or downloading attachments. Phishing attacks are a common type of cybercrime in which attackers use fake emails or websites to trick people into revealing sensitive information, such as your password or financial information. These attacks can be difficult to detect, as the attackers often use tactics to make their email or website look legitimate. B, be aware of phishing attacks. To protect yourself from phishing attacks, it is important to be aware of their existence and to be vigilant when interacting with emails or websites. Here are a few tips to help you verify the authenticity of emails and avoid phishing attacks. Be suspicious of emails that ask for sensitive information or that contain urgent or threatening language. Check the sender's email address. Is it coming from a familiar domain, or does it look suspicious? Look for typos or other anomalies in the email. Sometimes attackers will use slight variations of a legitimate email address or website to fool you. Do not click on links or download attachments from unfamiliar sources. If you are unsure whether an email is legitimate, you can try hovering over the link to see the destination's URL, or you can contact the sender to verify the authenticity of the email. By following these guidelines, you can help protect yourself from phishing attacks and other online threats. C. Use complex and unique passwords for all accounts. Consider using a password manager to keep track of them. C. Use complex and unique passwords. Using complex and unique passwords is an important step in protecting your online accounts and personal information. Using the same password for multiple accounts or using easy-to-guess passwords makes it easier for attackers to gain access to your accounts. If you have a lot of accounts, it can be difficult to remember all your unique passwords. A password manager can be a helpful tool. A password manager is a program that stores your passwords in a secure way and allows you to access them with a single master password. This way, you only have to remember one password instead of trying to remember all of your different passwords. In addition to using strong and unique passwords, it is also important to regularly update your passwords and enable two-factor authentication on your accounts whenever possible. Two-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring you to enter a code that is sent to your phone or email in addition to your password when logging into an account. D. Data breach. A data breach is an incident in which sensitive or confidential information is accessed or disclosed without authorization. D. Data breach. Data breaches can have serious consequences, including financial loss, damage to reputation, and legal liability. They can also lead to identity theft and other forms of cybercrime. It is important for organizations to have a robust security measure in place to protect against data breaches and to have a plan in place for responding to a breach if one occurs. Individuals can also take steps to protect themselves from data breaches by using strong and unique passwords, enabling two-factor authentication on their accounts, and being cautious about sharing personal information online. It is also a good idea to regularly monitor your accounts and credit report for any suspicious activity. E. Enable a firewall on your computer and router to help protect against external threats. E. Enable a firewall. A firewall is a security system that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. Firewalls can be implemented in hardware, software, or a combination of both. Enabling a firewall on your computer and router can help protect against external threats such as hacking, malware, and other cyber attacks. A firewall can block unauthorized access to your network and prevent malicious traffic from entering your system. F. Fraud. Cyber fraud refers to the use of internet to commit financial crimes, such as stealing money or personal information. F. Cyber fraud. Cyber fraud can have serious consequences for both individuals and organizations. It can result in financial loss, damage to reputation, and legal liability. To protect against cyber fraud, it is important to be vigilant when interacting with emails, websites, and online accounts. This includes using strong and unique passwords, enabling two-factor authentication whenever possible, and being cautious about sharing personal information online. It is also a good idea to regularly monitor your accounts and credit reports for any suspicious activity and to report any incidents of cyber fraud to the appropriate authorities. By taking these precautions, you can help protect yourself and your organization from cyber fraud and other online threats. G. Grayware. Grayware refers to software that is not malicious in nature, but that may still pose a risk to an organization's security. Examples of grayware include adware, spyware, and PUPs, potentially unwanted programs. G. Grayware. Adware is software that displays advertisements on a computer or device. While it is not typically malicious in nature, it can be annoying and may slow down the performance of the device. Spyware is software that's designed to collect information about a user without their knowledge or consent. It can track a user's online activity and collect sensitive data such as passwords and financial information. PUPs stands for potentially unwanted programs, are programs that may be installed along with other software, often without the user's knowledge. They can include toolbars, browser extensions, and other types of software that may not be malicious in themselves, but that may be unwanted or unnecessary. Grayware can pose a risk to an organization's security because it may consume resources, slow down performance, or expose sensitive data. It is important for organizations to have policies and procedures in place to prevent the installation of grayware and to regularly scan for and remove any existing grayware. HTTPS is a secure version of the HTTP protocol that is used to transmit data over the internet. It also encrypts the data to protect it against tampering. HTTPS, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. There are several reasons why it is important to use HTTPS. Security, as mentioned, HTTPS provides an extra layer of security by encrypting the data being transmitted. This makes it more difficult for attackers to intercept and tamper with the data. Privacy. HTTPS helps to protect the privacy of users by preventing third parties from being able to see the data being transmitted. This can be particularly important for sensitive information, such as financial or personal data. Trust. Using HTTPS can help to build trust with users, as it demonstrates that a website is taking steps to secure the data being transmitted. Compatibility. Many modern web browsers and devices will not work with websites that do not use HTTPS. So using HTTPS can help ensure compatibility with these systems. Overall, using HTTPS is an important step in preventing the security and privacy of users and ensuring the integrity of the data being transmitted over the internet. Identity theft is the unauthorized use of someone's personal information, such as their name, address, or financial information, for the purpose of committing fraud or other crimes. Identity theft can have serious consequences, including financial loss and damage to reputation. Identity theft. Here are a few steps you can take to protect yourself from identity theft. Use a strong and unique password for all your accounts and avoid using the same password for multiple accounts. Consider using a password manager to help you keep track of your passwords. Enable two-factor authentication whenever possible on your accounts. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring you to enter a code that is sent to your phone or email in addition to your password when logging into an account. Be careful about sharing personal information online, especially on social media or unfamiliar websites. Avoid posting sensitive information such as your full name, address, or financial information online. Regularly check your accounts and credit reports for any suspicious activity. This can help you catch identity theft early on and minimize the damage. When accessing sensitive information online, make sure you are using a secure network. Avoid accessing sensitive information on public Wi-Fi networks, as these are often unencrypted and can be easily accessed by hackers. This would be a great time to use your VPN. By following these guidelines, you can help protect yourself from identity theft and other forms of cybercrime. JavaScript is a programming language that is often used to create interactive features on websites. JavaScript can be used to create features such as form validation, image sliders, and pop-up windows. JavaScript. There are a few reasons why you may want to avoid JavaScript. Security. JavaScript can be used to create vulnerabilities that can be exploited by attackers. Disabling JavaScript can help reduce the risk of these types of attacks. Performance. JavaScript can sometimes slow down the performance of a website, especially on older or less powerful devices. Disabling JavaScript can help improve the performance of a website. Privacy. JavaScript can be used to track a user's online activity and collect data about their browsing habits. Disabling JavaScript can help protect your privacy by preventing websites from collecting this information. That being said, JavaScript is an important and widely used technology, and in many cases, it is necessary for the proper functioning of a website. If you do decide to disable JavaScript, you may find that some websites do not work as expected, or that certain features are not available. A keylogger is a type of software or hardware that's designed to record keystrokes. Keyloggers can be used for legitimate purposes and malicious purposes. A keylogger. A keylogger can be used for malicious purposes, such as stealing passwords or personal information. To avoid keyloggers, you can take the following precaution. Use antivirus software. Antivirus software can help detect and remove keyloggers and other types of malware. Be sure to keep your antivirus software up to date and run regular scans to check for any malware infections. Use a firewall. It can help prevent keyloggers and other types of malware from entering your system. Be sure to enable your firewall and keep it up to date. Avoid downloading suspicious software, especially from unfamiliar sources. Only download software from reputable websites and be sure to scan it for malware before installing it. Use a virtual keyboard. A virtual keyboard is a software tool that allows you to type on your screen rather than using a physical keyboard. This can help prevent keyloggers that are installed on your physical keyboard from capturing your keystrokes. Use a password manager to help protect against keyloggers by generating strong, unique passwords. To help protect against keyloggers by generating strong, unique passwords for your accounts and storing them in a secure location. This means that even if a keylogger can capture your password, it will be useless to the hacker because they won't have access to the password manager. By following these precautions, you can help protect yourself from keyloggers and other types of malware. Locky ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts the victim's files and demands a ransom be paid in order to decrypt them. It is named after the Locky file extension that it adds to the encrypted files. Locky ransomware. To avoid ransomware, you can take the following precautions. Keep your software and operating system up to date. Regularly installing updates for your software and operating system can help protect against vulnerabilities that can be exploited by ransomware. Use antivirus software. This can help detect and remove ransomware and other types of malware. Be sure to keep your antivirus software up to date and run regular scans to check for any malware infections. Enable a firewall. It can help prevent ransomware and other types of malware from entering your system. Be sure to enable your firewall and keep it up to date. Avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown sources. Ransomware is often spread through phishing emails or malicious websites. Be cautious when clicking on links or downloading attachments, especially from unfamiliar sources. Use a backup system. Regularly backing up your important files can help protect against ransomware. If your files are encrypted by ransomware, you can restore them from the backup rather than paying the ransom. By following these precautions, you can help protect yourself from ransomware and other forms of malware. Malware is short for malicious software, and it refers to any software that's designed to harm or exploit a computer or network. Malware can include viruses, worms, trojans, and other types of harmful software. Malware. Here are a few of the most common types of malware. Virus. It's a type of malware that is designed to replicate itself and spread from one computer to another. Viruses can cause a variety of problems, including damaging or deleting files, corrupting data, and slowing down a system. Worm is a type of malware that is designed to spread itself from one computer to another, often without the user's knowledge. Worms can exploit vulnerabilities in software or operating systems to replicate and spread themselves. Trojans is a type of malware that is disguised as legitimate software and is designed to gain unauthorized access to a system. Trojans are often used to steal sensitive information such as login credentials or financial data. Ransomware is a type of malware that encrypts a victim's files and demands a ransom be paid in order to decrypt them. Ransomware can be particularly damaging because it can hold a victim's files hostage until the ransom is paid, and there is no guarantee that the attacker will actually decrypt the files after receiving payment. Adware is a type of malware that is designed to display advertising on a victim's computer. Adware can be annoying and can slow down a system, but it is generally not as harmful as other types of malware. By being aware of these common types of malware and taking precautions to protect against them, you can help keep your system safe from harm. Network security refers to the measures taken to protect the computer network and the devices connected to it from unauthorized access or attacks. Network security can include measures such as firewalls, antivirus, and intrusion detection systems. Network security. Setting up network security involves implementing a variety of measures to protect a computer network and the devices connected to it from unauthorized access or attacks. Here are a few steps you can take to set up network security. Determine your security needs. The first step in setting up network security is to assess your security needs and determine what types of threats you are most likely to face. This will help you determine which security measures are most appropriate for your network. Implement security measures. There are many different types of security measures that you can implement to protect your network. Some common measures include firewalls, antivirus software, intrusion detection systems, and network access control systems. Monitor and update your security regularly, and update your security measures to ensure that they are effective up to date. This may involve installing updates for your security software, revising security policies, and responding to security breaches or threats. By following these steps and implementing appropriate security measures, you can help protect your network and the devices connected to it from unauthorized access or attack. Oh, online privacy refers to the protection of personal information and activities while using the internet. Always use caution when sharing private data and financial information. Oh, online privacy. Here are a few steps you can take to protect your online privacy. Use strong and unique passwords for all your online accounts and avoid using the same password for multiple accounts. You can use a password manager to help generate and store strong, unique passwords. Enabling two-factor authentication gives you an additional layer of security that requires you to provide a second form of authentication, such as a security token or a one-time password, in addition to your password. Enabling 2FA can help protect against unauthorized access to your accounts. Use a virtual private network. It encrypts your internet connection and hides your IP address. Using a VPN can help protect your online privacy by making it more difficult for third parties to track your online activity. Be cautious with sharing personal information online and consider the potential risk of sharing it. Avoid providing personal information to unknown or untrusted sources, and be aware of phishing attacks that may attempt to trick you into revealing sensitive information. Use privacy-focused browsers and search engines that block tracking cookies or anonymize your search queries. Using these types of tools can help protect your online privacy. By following these steps and being mindful of your online activity, you can help protect your online privacy and keep your personal information safe. A password is a secret string of characters that is used to verify the identity of a user. For us seniors, there's another method, other than passwords, to protect things we share with the younger generation. But more on that after the next video. A password. Here are a few best practices for protecting your password, both online and off. Use strong and unique passwords. Don't share your password. Avoid sharing your password with anyone, even trusted friends or family members. If someone else knows your password, they could potentially access your accounts or cause harm to your systems. Avoid using personal information in your passwords, such as your name, address, or birth date in your passwords. This information is often easily accessible to hackers and can make it easier for them to guess your password. Use a strong password manager, which is a tool that helps you generate, store, and manage strong, unique passwords. A password manager can help you create and use complex passwords without having to remember them, and it can help protect your passwords from being stolen or exposed. Protect your passwords offline. In addition to protecting your passwords online, it is also important to protect it offline. This can include taking precautions such as not writing your passwords down or storing it in a visible location, and being cautious about who you share your passwords with. By following these best practices, you can help protect your password and keep your accounts and systems safe from unauthorized access. Next comes that tip I said I would share to protect yourself against the younger generation. If we all switched to cursive and a stick shift car, we could cripple an entire generation. Quarantine is a security measure that involves isolating a device or file that is suspected of being infected with malware or otherwise poses a threat to a system. Quarantine. There are a few different ways you can implement quarantine on a system. Move the suspect file to a separate location. One way to quarantine a file is to move it to a separate location on the system, such as a designated quarantine folder. This can help prevent the file from being accessed or executed, and it can also make it easier to analyze or remove the file later. Disconnect the device from the network. If a device, such as a computer or smartphone, is suspected of being infected with malware or otherwise poses a threat to the system, you can quarantine it by disconnecting it from the network. This can help prevent the device from spreading malware or accessing sensitive information. Use security software. Some security software, such as antivirus programs or mobile device management systems, may have built-in quarantine capabilities. These systems can be configured to automatically move suspect files to a quarantine folder or to disconnect infected devices from the network. By implementing quarantine measures, you can help prevent the spread of malware and protect against further damage to your system. It is important to regularly check and maintain your quarantine folder and to remove any suspect files or devices from quarantine once they have been cleaned or neutralized. R, recovery, refers to the process of restoring a system or data after a failure or data loss event. Recovery can involve a variety of activities, such as restoring from backups, repairing damaged systems or data, and implementing contingency plans. R, recovery. There are a few key steps you can take to assure recovery is possible on a system. Create regular backups on your system, and data is one of the most important steps you can take to assure recovery is possible. Backups can be used to restore your system and data after a failure or data loss event. Test your backups, which is extremely important in ensuring that they are functioning properly and that you can successfully restore from them. Testing your backups can help you identify any issues or problems with your backup process and address them before a recovery is necessary. Store backups securely. To protect your backups from physical damage and unauthorized access by storing them in a secure location, such as fireproof safe or off-site storage facility. Implement a disaster recovery plan, which is a set of procedures and guidelines for responding to and recovering from a catastrophic event, such as a natural disaster or cyber attack. A well-crafted disaster recovery plan can help ensure that you are able to recover your system and data after a disaster and minimize downtime. By following these steps and regularly creating and testing backups, you can help assure that recovery is possible on your system in the event of a failure or data loss event. S, social engineering manipulates people into performing actions or divulging confidential information, usually by preying on their trust or emotions. S, social engineering. Social engineering is the practice of manipulating people into performing actions or divulging confidential information, often by preying on their trust or emotions. Here are some common forms of social engineering. Phishing is a type of social engineering attack that involves sending fake emails or text messages that appear to come from a legitimate source, such as a bank or government agency. These messages often contain malicious links or attachments that, when clicked on, can compromise your security. Baiting is a type of social engineering attack that involves offering something attractive, such as a gift or service, in exchange for sensitive information or access to a system. Scareware is a type of social engineering attack that involves tricking users into believing that their computer is infected with a virus or other malware. The attacker may then offer to sell the victim a fake antivirus solution to fix the problem. Impersonation is a type of social engineering attack in which the attacker poses as a legitimate authority figure or trusted individual in order to gain access to sensitive information or systems. Pretexting is a type of social engineering attack in which the attacker creates a fake identity or scenario in order to obtain sensitive information from the victim. Quid pro quo is a type of social engineering attack in which the attacker offers something in exchange for sensitive information or access to a system. This could be something as simple as offering assistance in exchange for a password. It is important to be aware of these tactics and to be cautious when sharing sensitive information or access to systems, especially when it is not clear who is requesting it. T. Two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is an additional layer of security that requires a user to provide two different authentication methods in order to access a system or sensitive information. T. Two-factor authentication. Here are some reasons why setting up 2FA is important. It adds an extra layer of protection. With 2FA, even if an attacker guesses your password, they still need another form of authentication in order to access your account or system. This makes it much more difficult for them to gain access and reduces the risk of your account being compromised. It protects against phishing attacks. Phishing attacks are common tactics used by attackers to trick users into revealing their login credentials. With 2FA in place, even if an attacker can obtain your login credentials, they still need another form of authentication in order to access your account. It helps prevent unauthorized access. 2FA can help prevent unauthorized access to your accounts and systems by requiring an additional form of authentication beyond just a username and password. This can help protect against unauthorized access from within your organization as well as from external attackers. Overall, setting up 2FA is an important security measure that can help protect your accounts and systems from being compromised by attackers. It is a simple and effective way to add an extra layer of protection to your online accounts and systems. User privacy refers to the protection of an individual's personal information and data from unauthorized access or misuse. User privacy. Here are some best practices for setting up user privacy. Use strong and unique passwords for all your online accounts. Avoid using the same password for multiple accounts and consider using a password manager to help generate and store strong passwords. Enable two-factor authentication on all your online accounts that offer it. This will require an additional form of authentication beyond just your password, making it more difficult for attackers to gain access to your accounts. Be cautious when sharing personal information online, especially with unfamiliar websites or individuals. Think carefully about what information you are sharing and who you are sharing it with. Use a virtual private network when connecting to the internet to help protect your online activity and personal information from being monitored or tracked. Keep your software and devices up to date with the latest security patches and updates. These updates often include fixes for vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. Use privacy settings on your social media and other online accounts to control who can see your personal information and activity. By following these best practices, you can help protect your personal information and data from unauthorized access or misuse. It is important to be proactive in safeguarding your user privacy in today's digital world. A virtual private network is a security solution that creates a secure encrypted connection between a device and a network. It is often used to protect data transmitted over public networks from being intercepted by third parties. A virtual private network. A virtual private network is a security solution that creates a secure encrypted connection between a device and a network. Here are some of the most important reasons for using a VPN. VPNs can help protect your online privacy by encrypting your internet activity and hiding your IP address. This can prevent your online activity from being monitored or tracked by third parties such as your internet service provider or the government. VPNs can enhance online security by encrypting your internet connection and protecting it from cyber threats such as hackers and malware. VPNs can help you bypass internet censorship and access blocked or restricted websites and content. This can be particularly useful when traveling or living in a country with strict internet censorship laws. VPNs can allow you to access content that may be restricted based on your location, such as a streaming service or websites. VPNs can help protect your data from being intercepted or accessed by unauthorized parties when using public Wi-Fi or other untrusted networks. VPNs can provide several important benefits for online privacy and security. They are a useful tool for anyone who is concerned about protecting their online activity and data from being monitored or accessed by third parties. I personally use Avast's Secure Line. Find out more about it by following the link listed. Wi-Fi Protected Access, WPA, is a security protocol that's used to secure wireless networks. It provides stronger security than its predecessor, WEP. Wi-Fi Protected Access. Wi-Fi Protected Access, WPA, is a security protocol that is used to secure wireless networks. It provides stronger security than its predecessor, WEP, Wired Equivalent Privacy, by using encryption and other security measures to protect against unauthorized access. The strongest version of WPA is WPA2, Wi-Fi Protected Access. WPA3 is an updated version of WPA which was introduced back in 2004 and is currently the most widely used security protocol for wireless networks. WPA2 uses advanced encryption techniques to provide strong security for wireless networks. It uses a combination of Temporal Key Integrity Protocol, TKIP, and Advanced Encryption Standard, AES, to encrypt wireless data transmitted between a device and a wireless access point. It is important to use WPA2 or the newer WPA3 if available for your wireless network because it provides stronger security than earlier versions of WPA and other security protocols. To help protect against unauthorized access and cyber attacks, such as man-in-the-middle attacks and wireless eavesdropping. Overall, it is recommended to use WPA2 or WPA3 for your wireless network to ensure the strongest security possible. There aren't really any terms worth mentioning that start with the letters X and Y. So the final term is Z, zero-day attack. Z, zero-day attack. A zero-day attack is an attack that exploits a previously unknown vulnerability, a zero-day vulnerability, in a system or software. These attacks can be particularly effective because there is no defense against them until the vulnerability is discovered and patched. Here are some steps you can take to protect against zero-day attacks. Regularly apply software updates and patches, as they often include fixes for vulnerabilities that could be exploited by attackers. Use a firewall which can help protect against zero-day attacks by blocking incoming traffic from unknown or untrusted sources. Use antivirus. It can help detect and prevent zero-day attacks by identifying and blocking known malware and other threats. I have used Avast since 2003. More information is available at the link listed. Use two-factor authentication, which adds an extra layer of security by requiring an additional form of authentication beyond just a password. This can help prevent zero-day attacks from being successful even if an attacker is able to obtain a user's login credentials. Implement network segmentation, which divides a network into separate isolated segments or zones. It can help prevent the spread of zero-day attacks by limiting access to specific areas of the network and controlling the flow of traffic between them. Overall, it's important to be proactive in protecting against zero-day attacks by implementing multiple layers of security and keeping your software and systems up to date. Here are some programs and apps that I can recommend to strengthen your overall cybersecurity. Avast's newest product is called Avast One, and their free version is called Avast One Essential. Protects your device from viruses, shop and bank online with extra security, stay private and safe on public Wi-Fi, find compromised passwords, speed up your device, connect securely with a built-in VPN, and in their free version, you get 5 gigabytes of encryption per week. That's a lot more than most people will ever need. Keep scams away from your email and get tips to be more safe online. This is available for Windows, Mac, Android, iOS. Almost everything that connects to the internet. We talked about the importance of VPNs to encrypt and hide your location. Avast makes Avast Secure Line an excellent product, stores none of your information. The newest product from Avast is Avast Secure Identity. It's identity theft protection. If you've never had your identity stolen, be very happy. If it happens to you, I don't have to tell you what kind of a pain in the neck that can be. CCleaner helps to clean up the garbage that accumulates on your system. It also has many, many built-in tools. I actually have a program that just talks about the tools that are part of CCleaner. Patch My PC Home Updater. It's what I use to keep my programs up to date. It has access to over 300 programs and automatically, or when you run the program, automatically looks for what's outdated and updates them automatically in the background. You can also use it for programs that you might want to install on your system. If they're not currently there and they're on the list, just check it off and it does the install without giving you any garbage or without you having to worry that you're going to wind up at a site and maybe not get the actual official copy of that program. Password managers. I used to use LastPass and recently changed over, and I now use Bitwarden and one other one to keep me safe. I have 2 password managers on my systems. Reason is simple. If one decides to quit tomorrow, the other one still has my back. And there's no reason you can't have more than one password manager. One is always the default, and the other one always asks you whether or not it should also remember that new password when you sign in. So they're always up to date. It's just the one that's prevalent is the one that does the filling in of the information. My programs never end without us having some fun. For the remainder of the presentation, please unmute yourself. Here's one way for you to never, ever have to change your clocks again. Don't worry about daylight savings or regular time. One clock does all of it.
What does?
Does it for you.
And he had the nerve to tell me to close the laptop lid. Eat salad, they said. It's healthy, they said. You know what never gets recalled? Cake. Human engineering at its finest. Must have been designed by AI. If a man says he will fix it, he will. There is no need to remind him every 6 months. Teacher, I have a green ball in one hand and a green ball in another. So what do I have? Student, Kermit the Frog begging for mercy.
I was going to say the Jolly Green Giant.
A new teacher was trying to make use of her psychology courses. She started her class by saying, everyone who thinks they're stupid, stand up. After a few seconds, Larry stood up. And the teacher said, do you think you're stupid, Larry? No, ma'am, but I hate to see you standing there all by yourself.
That's the best one so far.
I started doing my presentations way back in 2010. Back then and through the end of March, they were sponsored by Avast. As I said, that sponsorship has ended, but I haven't. I still do presentations. I'm still very active on the customer support forum because I happen to enjoy helping other folks if they have a problem, and I have a way of answering their questions. If you know of anyone who would benefit from a presentation, have them get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to arrange a program for them. If you're interested in the rest of the information or the rest of the stuff that I do online, just follow that link. There's quite a bit there to look at. And here's a promo for my latest presentation. Actually, you folks are going to get to see that one next month. Whoop. Come on. AI, a closer look. AI is certainly more than ChatGPT and DALL-E 2. AI is being utilized across a wide range of industries, and its applications are continuously evolving. During the first half of this presentation, I'll be sharing several videos that will give you a greater insight into AI. The second half of the presentation will be a hands-on demonstration of ChatGPT and DALL-E 2 using your club's provided input to these two very popular AI tools. If you're interested, contact me to arrange your presentation. And actually, we've added one more thing. Bard is now also available, which is Google's AI. So the questions that I need from the club will be for all three of those things. Two of them to answer prompts and give us written information. The other one will draw a picture for us based on the information that the club provides. I'm going to stop sharing, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Bob, thank you so much.
You're
That was
welcome.
a great presentation. I wanted to just clear one thing up. You said that you have more than one password manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a RoboForm, I believe, is one, right? Am I right that RoboForm is a password manager?
No, that's one that Huey uses.
No.
No,
I
I
know you don't use it, but is it a password manager?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Okay. So,
Yep.
so if you have one and then you have another, you only get the advantage of one because only one takes over from the other. Is that correct?
You have one that's the default, the main one. It does all the fill-ins. But the other one, anytime you have a new password, when you fill in that password for the first time, the second or the backup will also ask you whether it whether you want it to remember that password. So you actually have two separate places where your passwords are being saved.
Okay, thank you. Now, I know RoboForm is expensive. I don't know what Avast costs. Do you?
Avast doesn't have a password manager.
They don't.
No.
Okay, so Avast is
Avast
a
is an
security
antivirus,
system.
right? It does not have a password manager.
Okay. All right,
Bitwarden
thank
is another good one. There are several out there.
Bitwarden, you mentioned.
Bitwarden,
Yeah.
I know you can use for
All right,
free, and
take
you
that.
can use it cross-platform on all the different platforms.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
More questions?
Huey.
Yeah, Bob, I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, I'm getting more and more websites. When I go to them to sign in, they ask for my email address and I type it in and then they say, we just sent you an email with a set of 6 numbers, and never ask me to create a password or use one. Is that more safe than a password, or are they just they found a different software to handle people signing in?
Well, they send it to you. That assures them that you're not a robot, because the robot's not going to be able to put in the numbers when they come back to the site. Okay. As far as you're concerned, it really doesn't matter. It is still a second, not a second, but it's the only one, but it's only going to come to your email address, the one that you gave them. It's not 2-factor, because there's only 1 factor, and that factor is inputting the information that they request in order for you to get to that site. And yeah, it is being used more often. I have quite a few that actually that's what they do. CRISP is one of them. It just simply sends a code to your email and you have to put it in, and that's how you get back into the program. There are some AI programs after I've signed up, the only thing they did was send me a code that verifies that I'm the person that requested access.
And then each time you want to sign in, they'll send a different
Yeah.
code.
Correct. It's a different code, but it's again being sent to your email address. Now, if someone in the meanwhile steals your email address, oh, well, that could happen. Then you won't have access because your email's been swiped and they'll get access. George, you got your hand up and okay.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I've just been going through some of our club's laptops, and I'm just wondering whether having all the same, like we're Windows machines, so would it be sensible to have all the same password on all those that are there for teaching? Is there any problem with like right now we have different passwords on different accounts on each machine? But there's no need for that. It could have it all the same and it'd be less to remember.
And that's only to get into the machine itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does that machine get wiped out each day and starts over?
No.
See,
There's way too much work.
No, the machine that I had at our senior center, I had a program on it. And once you signed in for that day until you turned it off and back on, you could do whatever you wanted. But as soon as if it was more than one senior, the rule was when you finish with the machine, you turn it off. The next one gets there, they turn it on, but it starts from ground zero. The only one who could update it are the people that were authorized to actually go in and bypass the reset, because then they could update the machine so that there's any updates to be done. Okay. But that was one way for me to make sure that none of the seniors that got on there wound up with somebody else's garbage, because we really didn't care what they did.
So the administrative account could be the same on all the machines.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That makes it a little simpler. Well, we aren't wiping the machines, and frankly, our seniors are bringing their own devices to the club now. We almost never pull out these laptops from the cupboard anyway.
Okay.
So I don't know. Anyway, thanks for the input.
Keep them up to date,
George,
though, even though you don't pull them out. Keep them up to date.
And George, the group that you belong to, if you'd let everybody know.
Oh. Sorry. The Victoria Computer Club
Okay,
in
just so they know. that's
Canada.
not STUG. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've been there virtually.
Yes.
Y'all see the reaction at the very bottom on your taskbar, or wait at the bottom of your screen. It says reactions. If you click on that, you'll see that you can be recognized by a hand gesture. So I don't see any other hands up. Do we have any more questions for Bob? Leah?
No,
Okay. I'm not seeing any more. Bob, that was a fantastic presentation.
yes,
And I think the fact that we may all have to go back and see it again as it comes back to us in the next few days, I think that's going to be much appreciated, because that was an awful lot of information. We only missed X and Y.
Yeah, and I think some people are probably happy that I did miss X and Y because it was already a very long presentation.
It is, but it's a very, very interesting one, and one we should all know and be aware of. So I thank you so much for coming tonight and doing that for us.
I think you'll have more fun next week. I mean, next month when we do.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of
AI.
fun, the AI. Yeah,
Yep.
because we're all into that. That's
Yep.
for sure. Carla
Especially-
Porter does have she's clapping. Good for you. Okay, Carla. Thank you for that. Any more hands up?
Oh, shit, come on in.
All right. So let me then
Thanks.
go on to say thank you again, Bob. And then we'll go on to our winners for tonight's